Hello and welcome to today's episode of our Labyrinth of Touhou 2 playthrough session. My name is Shire and your name is?
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Yes,
Diggy hole.
Day has been playing dwarf games.
Yes. Like, it's actually a thing. I have themed months in my gaming where I only play games related to specific topics based on a random roll. And this month I rolled dwarf, so I'm only allowed to play games that in some way involve dwarves this month. It's very strange. I don't know why I do it.
Yes. Now, I am breaking my promise from last session where I said we'd be starting on floor 7.
We're not on floor 7?
We're not, because there's a little more content I found we need to do.
Oh. Okay.
What was
What's
the opening
that?
I wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll let you know
Well, I'll let you...
in just a second.
We just need to load that opening. Oh! Oh, you mean opening as in opening row of characters. I thought you had like a planned opening for talking to the audience. So I was
Well,
like,
no, I had a plan to start on level 7.
oh, okay.
Yep. So anyway, since last session I've actually done a little bit of grinding. Just to get my levels up a bit higher for the moments I need them. In the course of that, I fought the 5 FOE bosses again, each once. Meaning that I fought them a total of 10 times, which now spawns a new one.
Wait, do they keep coming?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
part of a gimmick.
Oh!
Meet Yugi.
It's the other Oddie. I know there's multiple Oddies.
Yeah. This is the, well, the other one's the drunk, this one's the raw power.
Ah, that's kind of neat, I guess. You know.
Yep.
This is also the one-horn version, which is always weird. I don't know, it's cool looking, it's just weird looking. I'm just so used to horns being like duplicate affairs.
Whoop, there goes Wriggle.
Bye-bye, Death Girl.
Anyway, she's kinda deadly.
I mean, I'd expect when you introduced her by mentioning raw power. By the way, audience, if you don't say that Renosuke is Best Girl, you are actually factually wrong. There you go.
Okay, this is kind of annoying that it's not targeting Moko. Oh yeah, right. So as I mentioned, Satori just knows everybody's techniques. Wow, 6,000 damage. That's what Komachi wishes she could do.
Okay. Wait, who got 6,000 damage?
Satori using Komachi's technique.
Oh.
See, like this? 160.
Okay.
Like this? 6,000.
6,500 and something.
Yep.
Fun. So, I'm assuming she spawned just because, like, we kicked a lot of ass, so we look like we'd be fun to fight.
Basically.
Yeah. I like simples. Yeah,
Alright, so a
simple
thing I
things.
noticed is every one of Utsuho's techniques is actually an AoE.
Nice. I mean, of course it is. Like, isn't that part of her gimmick, is that she has no, like, accuracy? She just has, like, enormous damage?
Yep.
It's the nuclear era option.
It's literally the nuclear option.
No subtlety, no precision, just eliminate.
Yeah. Speaking of eliminate... At this stage, Yugi's gone mean. She can now literally one-shot anyone.
Oh, she buffs over the course of the fight, or she has like a rage power?
She has a rage moment. She goes with random targets, single targets, and then ridiculously powerful single target right at the end.
That's still a lot of health for being able to single target everybody.
Yeah. but Marissa's Master Spark actually worked this time and did 10,000 damage.
Oh, that's nice. And I suppose you do have Moko who, like, will come back from being one-shotted.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I was kind of being like, it's a bit unfair of the game to, like, throwing that at you, but then I was like, then I remembered Moko. Are there other characters with that ability?
Yeah, Casson has it, although to a weaker extent. From what I've looked up, another thing you usually do if you don't have Moko is bring Aya and max out her evasion.
Ah, so she'll just dodge the attacks.
Yeah.
And this is why dodging is always better than tanking, because 0 damage is always better than, like, some.
Yeah. Alright, so didn't get any of the items I wanted, but who cares, we'll get them later.
Okay.
So, what's the actual story?
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my, she's attractive.
So yeah, literally what you said. She saw us beating up all the strong things and said, ooh, cool.
She looks like Kanbaru's oldest, like, sister. Like, she looks like the kind of girl Kanbaru dreams of becoming, you know?
Yeah, I can see it.
Like, older teen to, like, early 20s, sporty as fuck, just raw bruiser. Oh.
Yeah. I actually thought I'd lose 1 or 2 times there, so,
You did well?
Yeah.
But we're losing our content?
Possibly. Guess it may be a short video after all. So, what do you expect she does?
Like, heavy single target damage.
Quite probably, and look at that
Physical?
attack stat.
Yeah. Ah, and some pretty good tanking though, looking at that HP.
Yeah, good hit points and good defense, but she's basically going to fold to magic. Oh.
That also makes sense.
Why did I go into the dungeon?
Because you're attracted to dungeons?
Yes.
Or giant trees?
Now, I'll be honest, I've never actually got her before because, well, I thought the game was glitching out, but it's just that she doesn't have a boss icon.
Oh.
So, let's find out what she does together. Alright, okay, fairly cheap single target attack. There's the killer move. Fairly expensive single... Alright, so basically high-powered defense-piercing attack and with an accuracy penalty. And a single target lockdown. What tricks does she offer? Right? So chance to just smack anyone who smacks her? Same thing as... oh, well, a couple of characters. She gets more powerful when party members are dead because she's a brawler. Powers up when she kills, brawler. Powers up physical damage, okay.
So the more the fight goes on, the more other people drop, the more brutal she's gonna get.
Yep, okay, let's read through this. If there are 2 or more enemies, she gets a speed bonus. If there are less than 4 enemies, she gets an attack bonus.
That makes sense.
And
That's actually quite cool.
the less HP, the more damage. Okay. Yeah, it's all about doing more damage, so she's pretty obvious in her role.
She seems fun. If that power-up for other party members dying, is that just if there's dead party members in the front line?
Probably not. There are similar mechanics, like Reimu actually has something like that.
So if someone dies but they're in the back line, it's still, like, it...
Yeah.
So it's basically if the back line's empty.
Basically.
I guess my question is just like, I'm curious what the game's check on that is. Is it just checking, oh, there's no one in the back line, power up? Or is it checking actual, like, death events?
An interesting question. I'll also bring up Marissa, who has something like that too. in her case, she has to be in the battlefield, and it needs to be specifically 5 or more dead characters, but she gets a huge bonus every turn. However, this move actually didn't work in the non-plus disc version, because I guess they just didn't have the check done right.
That's fine.
So, quite possibly, Yugi was the same and just didn't have the check right.
I mean, yeah. It's always interesting, like, what is the game actually trying to do by its logic? It's like, it's always a different thing.
Now
back into it.
There's nothing on this floor. Sorry, I'm just going to be jumping floors a bit.
That's alright, let me know when there's a good time to go on, like, a massive tangenting rant of unfocused abandon.
Go on.
Oh, okay. So, on the note, okay, I've been playing Dwarf Fortress, that was the whole dwarf thing earlier. I don't actually do themed months, but you know what? If you did do that, I would respect you.
Yep.
I'm talking to everyone in the audience here. Anyway, so I played Dwarf Fortress once before, and I got reasonably far into it. I got as far as my fourth fortress collapsing when the first goblin invasion turned up because I hadn't thought to really set up much in the way of defenses, and I didn't really know how to do burrows, and I tried to train up a military and it didn't go very well, and just everything was a nightmare, and then everyone died to goblins, and it ended with a single cat being chased round and round in circles. You're at a boss icon.
Yeah, just an event icon.
Oh, okay.
Woo. She wanders around as, oh hey, there's a little flower. The flower seems weak, so she heals it because she's a plant goddess. Now there's a whole bunch of these little events in the game that pop up only when specific characters have a certain amount of usage points.
Alright, so they spend usage, but what do you get in return?
It's actually a lot later than I've ever gone, but I believe you get to, what's the word? Sorry, just try to remember the word. Oh yeah, it's unlocks a special item or character or something much later in the game. So this is your whole background level up thing. So yeah, so only one cat was left.
Oh yeah, so that was my first fortress. It just, like, it killed. Yeah, so that was my first fortress. That was years ago. Now, recently, I found out that they're doing a Steam release version of Dwarf Fortress where they're redoing the things. I've been reading through some devlogs. They're gonna redo some of the UI, which I'm curious to see how much they change the UI, because the biggest issue, like, it is quite a lot to get your head around. Although at this stage of the thing, I found that I think they must have refined it a lot since the last time I played, because it does seem easier in the sense of it's more intuitive. Oh, we're getting more events.
Yeah, basically there's an invisible gate ahead that Shen can recognize because she works with gate people. Not too sure what the deal is there, but... So yeah, it's a lot easier now than it used to be. In terms of interface.
No, the interface is still just the same as ever, but it's more intuitive in that doing things that seem like they'd work most of the time seem to have worked. I'm still tabbing to Google every 15 minutes whenever I have a question like, wait, I need a rope, how do I get a rope? And there's a lot of menus to go back and forth and check, but I don't know, I'm really into it this time around. My second fort, well, not my second fort, because I made a few different ones, and I only had one get super far. This particular fort is actually like healthy and sustainable, and most people have a good bedroom. And I'm a barony now. So that's fun, and I'm a metropolis, like metropolis apparently, which is cool. And right before you messaged me, we had a goblin invasion, and so I just shut the door. The great thing is, we're actually fine, because I made a reservoir, drained a big chunk of the river into it, so I have a safe pool of water inside. I need one of the dwarves to actually build the well. I've told them to build on top of it, because that seems to be taking a while. But once the well is built, the dwarves will be able to have water, which is needed for treating injured people, not necessarily for drinking. Dwarves only drink water if they're sick. Generally, they just drink booze.
Yeah.
Because they're dwarves. But yeah, so there's like, I think something like, it's like probably like a mix of like 20 or 30 like trolls, goblins, and what's called beak dogs just hanging outside my fort at the moment. Couple of the trolls. Yeah, they're like dogs with beaks.
Oh, beak dogs.
What do you think I said?
Big.
Big. Oh, no. Yeah, beak. They have beaks. So... the hell was I on about? Yeah, so I have some weapon traps in front of the gate that are there mainly for emergencies. I have no military. I haven't had the courage to open that menu because the military menu is insane. But I've heard that training them is at least more intuitive than it was before. Before, one of the better ways to train dwarves was to basically lock them in a pit with a bunch of spikes for them to keep dodging.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yep, apparently that's not a thing anymore, so like that's cool. But I only checked that briefly. Ooh, actually, the one thing I will need eventually is to get something that I can use to make rope. Because I ran out of pigtail seeds, which is unfortunate. But, you know, life happens. I did nearly starve to death once. Oh, more gates.
Yep. I think there's another one on this floor too.
Makes sense. Oh yeah, so I set the dwarves to cook all the food, right? Because I thought, oh yeah, cook food, that'll be good, right?
Yep.
But plump helmets, which are like the kind of staple food, they're a bit like the dwarf version of a potato. They're mushrooms. If they're eaten raw, they produce a seed. If they're cooked, they don't. So, I ran out of seeds.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a few years there where I was, like, desperately, like, chopping up what animals I had and gathering as many plants as I could from the wilderness just to keep the food flowing until eventually a caravan from our civilization turned up and was like, hey, we got stuff, but you gotta trade for it. And then I traded and got a whole bunch more of the plump helmets and the seeds, and now I don't have a perpetual cooking order going. And I'm just essentially letting I'm filling up some massive farm plots. I'm essentially just gonna overproduce the hell out of these plump helmets. The other thing I need to do is work out some way to do weaving.
Yeah.
You know, just get because I actually might have an outdoor seeds for an outdoor plant because I bought pretty much anytime a trader turned up with seeds, I bought them. That was my logic of what was, you know, because banished.
If you can afford it, get it.
Yeah, and like it's adding to your list of stuff that you have. So I might have some outdoor seeds that can be planted to make textiles. which I need for rope and stitches.
Yep.
Oh, events are pretty cool.
Alright, I think there's actually 2 different event chains, one involving gates and one involving flowers. In this case, Wriggle's the expert here because the flower's been poisoned by the creatures around it.
Okay. Oh, Wriggle! I gotta
She's a
draw
good
Wriggle.
girl.
She's beautiful. That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Oh yes, fibers. Yeah. So I'll have a look at my stores and check the wiki for what I need next time I jump on. I've got to do some stuff after I get off this. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I might actually be like pretty damn sustainable. And then I have a lot of iron that I haven't done anything with because I've really just been looking at it like I don't even know what to make. I'm making some chains so I can set up a jail because Alright, here's something hilarious. The second I made a hospital, like 20 dwarves decided it was time for a punch-up, and I don't think I've had a brawl before that. Or if I might have, but I might not have noticed. But it kind of, like, what it felt like was like, there's a doctor? Great!
We can get hurt now!
Yeah! That means I can break your stupid nose, and it's not a big deal. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And then, I don't know what it is, if the beds just aren't set up right, or if they're unhappy about it. They all just passed out. They all, essentially, they were fine. They just got bruises, so they were given rest orders. All of them just passed out on the floor.
Very dwarvy.
There's hospital beds. No one used them. I mean, there weren't enough for all the dwarves, granted, but no.
At least some of them.
Yeah, not at least one of them tried to use the bed for it. And I mean, they all have quarters. What it was they were all bruised, so they were all given rest orders. So they all just went, fuck it, I guess I'll sleep here.
Yeah, the main thing I know about Dwarf Fortress is that any of your orders are basically more like suggestions.
Yeah. I mean, there's stronger and weaker suggestions.
But if the more irritated they may be at you, the less likely they are to obey.
Well, I mean, the other thing that seems to happen is it doesn't seem to be that big a deal to have a handful of crazy dwarfs running around the fortress at the moment.
Yeah.
I imagine if, like, there wasn't... Part of it, I think, is I've just decorated the place, like, most of it's engraved as hell. There's statues everywhere. Nearly everyone's got good bedrooms. And because, like, it's not a thing where one crazy dwarf will spiral your whole fortress into catastrophe. If you're not feeding anyone, and the circumstances that drive dwarves crazy keep happen, okay. But, like, I think I've got 4 very depressed dwarves, and that number seems to be holding stable with population. Like, you'll have a handful that are just having a shit time.
Yep.
And you know, I think there's a mix of reasons. I think a lot of them, because I don't have every single industry set up, a lot of them can't practice their craft, so they're depressed about that. But also a lot of them had friends who died in past attacks, and they were horrified and traumatized when they saw their friend's body and just did not recover.
Yep. Anyway, we're actually out of content for today.
Oh no.
So,
That was quick.
yeah, it was, I've got 24 minutes measured, but...
Huh.
Yeah, it was, Yugi went down relatively easily because I was pretty much tailor-made to fight her.
Okay. Huh.
And it was only a couple of flowers and gates I had to dig up.
Well, I suppose we don't have, how to put it? It's not like we have viewers that will be disappointed.
Yet. Given that some people have actually binged my Arknight series after finding out about my channel, I'm actually a little bit hopeful for the future. It's not just a matter of my voice is annoying so people instantly close the videos.
Oh no, it's probably just like people don't know your channel's there, and because it's low sub numbers
Yes,
and
low sub, low advertisement, etc.
the algorithm just ignores
Yeah.
it. You need to get
Although
one
I actually chose not to make a full Arknights video today.
fair.
I'm out of a main game's content, and honestly, I think what I've been doing with the events content would be too boring to make a full video out of every day.
Mm,
Yeah, look at me challenge the exact same stage again, but with a different configuration of conditions. It's going to look the
yeah.
same to anyone watching, though, and is just going to be me fiddling around for 20-30 minutes.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Pity that.
Mm. I mean, at least for this one, I kind of figure half of the watch is, rambling on about nonsense,
Yeah,
reviewing animes and things.
here's an
Mm.
interesting game, here's some interesting topics.
Well,
We hope.
let's not go that far. Here's some topics to fill the void.
Yes. In any case, I'll probably let things wrap up now. Do you have any final thoughts?
Um, no, not really. I tried to think of a joke, but I don't have one.
Yep, fair enough. Well, I guess I'll just wrap up as I usually do. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye bye.